Join us this week on Inside Hair Fashion as we take an inside look at the latest techniques and developments in the world of hair replacements and hair additions. Our special guest reveals the newest, most natural hair addition methods available today. Stay with us and discover what's new. Inside Hair Fashion.
Hello, I'm Fred Venor, and welcome once again to Inside Hair Fashion, the television show that deals openly and honestly with the problems and the solutions of hair loss for both men and women. Now, some of you may remember from our last show that I am not a professional spokesperson, but as the producer and director of that show, I believe that because the hair replacement work that we were about to introduce to you was so advanced, we didn't need an elaborate production. So we took what many people considered to be a very big risk. We actually stepped away from the pre-designed set. We did not use the celebrity spokesperson, and we threw away the script. You know, most people thought we were out of our minds. They said the public is not ready for that type of a direct, no-nonsense approach. But we believe differently. We believe that you had had enough of the phony baloney hair shows with their pre-contrived testimonials and their less than natural looking hair replacements. We believe that because the hair replacement work that we were about to show you was so good, you would respond. And you know what? You responded in a big way. To date, that has been one of the most successful shows ever on the subject of hair loss and hair replacement. So we're back here once again. We're back with more straight talk, and we're back with some even more impressive hair replacement work. So if you're a viewer and you have hair loss, or maybe you know someone who does, or perhaps you're already a hair wearer and you're just not satisfied with the look that you have, stay with us because I'll be back in a moment with a woman who has literally changed the entire look of hair replacements, and more importantly, she's changed the way people think about them. If you thought the last show was good, stick around because I promise you, this show is even better. Just take a look.
Because a picture is worth 1,000 words, we want you to see something with your own eyes. When you think of a natural head of hair like this, you see hair the way nature intended it. Soft, supple, with shine, body, and a natural hairline. They say there's nothing quite like it. But what you are looking at is a hair replacement. What you are seeing is the JA Alternatives Natural Hair Addition. The one hair addition that truly rivals what nature intended.
You have just seen some of the amazing hair replacement work of JA Alternatives. And here with me now is the woman behind that company and behind those natural looks, Ms. Jane Arce. Hi, Jane. How are you?
Hi, Fred. I'm fine.
It's good to be back.
It is.
Feel a little more relaxed this time?
Oh, a lot more relaxed.
You don't mind working without a script anymore?
I think it's better this way.
You know, last time we did this, Jane, everybody thought we were crazy.
That's what they said. They said we were crazy for doing it this way, but they can't argue with the results. And the response that we got was absolutely, it was overwhelming. It really was. We literally had thousands of phone calls every time the show airs. And I think what's most exciting was that probably 50% of the calls are from people who are currently wearing hair replacements and aren't happy.
So that's quite a compliment.
It is.
That they're
It
already
really
wearing.
is.
You know, last time when we did the show, one of the things that amazed me the most was the fact that you used what I thought was such little hair in your hair replacements. But this time we shot some footage with people that had even less hair, and I'm talking about Michael, who it was a hair replacement that actually looked like he was balding.
Well, in Michael's particular case, we had two separate agendas, and that's really important, that you satisfy a client based on what their needs, wants, and desired results are, as opposed to what you can or are capable of producing. See, that's the difference. We work on designing what is going to be appropriate for you, the client.
Right.
All right?
He actually had two different looks, though.
That's correct. Now, we did that purposely because Michael hasn't had hair in a long time. So what we did for him was first designed a hair replacement that would give him one of the least possible amounts of change in his original look. He didn't want to walk into an office the next day and look completely different. We actually gave him a more gradual approach. We kept the hairline very, very receded. And then the secondary step, now he could wear that process if he wanted for about 6 months. And then we put him in a little bit more of an aggressive type of a hair replacement, which was a little fuller, which I happen to think he looks even better in if you look at his face. But what was important to Michael was that we met his criterion. And his criteria for a hair replacement was that he first have a subtle change and then he go on to something more aggressive.
Okay. You know, there's something also in that hair replacement that I think we need to talk about, because everybody who's out there thinks the same thing. You know, they see the hair replacements, they look like helmets on people's heads, or at least the bad ones
Hair
do
helmets.
anyway. Hair helmet.
Yeah.
Can we say that on the air?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
That's what they look like. People aren't blind, they
you know,
can see it.
You never see a hairline on a hair replacement,
That's
but on
right.
yours, your hairline is the feature.
Yes.
You know, you had said something to me about the way you go after designing these hair replacements, and I think you should tell the people what that was.
Well, I guess one of the things that we do is we're very observant people. I always stare when I'm in a crowd or in public. I stare at people who have natural heads of hair. And unlike most hair replacement companies who take a hair replacement and try to make it look natural, what I do is I stare at people who have their own natural growing hair and talk about how can I take some of those components and integrate it into our hair replacements to have them look like people who have their own hair rather than nicely styled hair replacements. You know, I don't want people to look like production assembly line, you know, hair replacements. I want them to look like their own hair, styles that are just theirs.
Jane, is your hair replacement process for everybody?
There is no one hair replacement process that is right for everyone. And at Alternatives, if we don't believe that the procedure is going to look natural on you, if that our hair replacements will not satisfy you, and if we don't feel it's appropriate for you, then we're going to say something to you that no other hair replacement company will say.
What's that?
We're going to say no. No, this process is not correct for you. We will not accept someone's money if we do not believe we can make them happy.
One of the things that I hear over and over since I've been working with your company is your staff. Everybody seems to be in love with your staff.
That's because they're truly very nice, professional people who have a tremendous concern for their clients. You know, first of all, Fred, they've been with me a very long time. My staff is well-trained and very experienced in hair replacement, and they are not only taught to be concerned, they are concerned. I don't believe that that's something that is acquired. I think it's something that you either have or you don't have, and that's true concern for your clients. And they do have concern for each and every client who comes to us. And they're very good at what they do.
Yeah, the styles that they turn out are absolutely amazing. You know, let's talk about that for a second. The standard perception of a hair replacement is they all look the same.
Yeah, one look, everybody gets it. They're
Everybody
stamped out
gets
of
it's
a
like a
mold.
cookie cutter, right? Like an assembly line, but yours is not the case.
No. No.
Is that because of the staff, the hair replacement? What's the reason?
It's a combination of everything. First of all, we start with what does the client want? Now, not everyone's wants, needs, or style, desires are the same. So that's where we begin. So right then and there, you're going to have a varied look because you have varied opinions. And of course, it's the staff's ability to create what a person perceives into reality. And I think that's important, that we're able to take what a person wants and create it. And that has to do with good listening skills, great styling abilities, design abilities. Every component has to be correct. You know, there's no giant secret out there. You do very, very good work, and you treat people very well. That's the service business we're in. That's our big secret. That's the JA Alternatives success story.
There, it's out.
Yeah, right?
The secret's out. You know, one of the things about the last show that really was fun was when we interviewed the people, because again, they had no scripts and they were speaking from their heart. They had a lot of interesting stories, but this time I think we had even some more fun with the people, and I want to roll some of that now, so let's just take a look.
I've had so many friends, men and women, just so complimentary, and they just love it, and it doesn't bother me that they know that I now have hair and I didn't before, because the important thing is it looks great. So I don't care if they know as long as it looks great.
See, that's another thing. Why are you willing to get on television and tell everybody that you have hair loss?
I think because there's a lot of men out there, Jane, my age, in my age bracket, in our 50s, even maybe in their 60s, who are single. I still want the company of an attractive woman. I still feel romantic, and I still want to be attractive. And there is no doubt about it that women's attitude changed towards you. It's not maybe they don't run up and say, oh, you got beautiful hair, but now they're looking at your face. And they're not just looking at your forehead. And they don't have the image that you're an old man. It's okay to be older, but you don't have to be old. And so if I can get some other men out there, the gray foxes, to think about it, and if they're watching, they all want hair, and they want to do what I do. And you still want to be attractive. Doesn't matter how old you are. What I love about this hair is that it matches my personality. I'm a relaxed, informal kind of person. I wouldn't want anything stiff and sprayed down. I can take this and I can just go up over it, and it's me. It just flops back in place. I don't have to worry about it. It doesn't have to be sprayed down or very formal, and I feel very confident about it. It's me, and I love it. A little earlier, we discussed about why I or other men would get a hair replacement. And I thought about that. I had a feeling you were going to ask that. So you know I'm a teacher. And as a teacher, you see, I did some homework that you don't know about. This is the personal ad section of a large local newspaper. And in it there must be 1,000 ads of people wanting to meet other people. At least 600 of them are women who are searching for men. They want tall men, short men, thin men, muscular men, light men, dark men. But of the 600 ads, there's not one that says, I'm searching for a bald guy. I think that says it, why I want some hair.
Like all men losing their hair, I did everything I could in terms of using the blow dryer to fluff it up. And actually, I was starting to get the little comb-over hair effect.
The part kept getting deeper and deeper
and Elise was like, wait a minute, you're starting to get the comb-over hair look, and that's not going to do.
You're only 29. You cannot have the comb-over hair. Right?
And I realized that I actually was starting my part lower and lower. So I was talking about it with Elise, and Elise, really encouraged me to look into it.
I knew it was going to look great. I just had a deep down feeling, and I knew he'd really like it. Plus, it's a lot less maintenance than he's used to with his. Before he had it, he would spend a half an hour on his 4 hairs in the morning, fluffing them up and making them look like 16 hairs. Now he just washes it.
I had more than 4 hairs, okay?
Now he just washes it and, towel dries it, puts it the way he wants to, and goes. I sat with Peter in the room while he was initially getting it put on. And I lost my breath. I was like, oh, because the second he put it on, it was incredible.
I saw her reaction in the mirror, and her eyes lit up.
At first it was long, and when Jane cut it down, it was like someone just took 10 years and just took it right off his age. It was great.
And then Jane had took the replacement off, and as I put it back on, I got used to it immediately, because I just noticed the the difference. It just looked really natural.
I don't think I'm going to let him out of the apartment anymore. I think he looks.
I've had this for a week, and it's been a great week. That's all I'll say.
Really?
It's been a great week.
I'm nervous about that.
Jane, as always, it's amazing. These people, that has to make you feel really, really good.
It does, Fred. There's no way I can express myself without getting choked up, and how much it really means to me that I've changed people's lives. And I know that I have, and my staff does it every single day. And it's a wonderful feeling, and it's nice that we're able to produce the quality of work. And I think the most important thing is that we really care. And we care about people as individuals. We're people. And, I know how important it is if someone comes in, that they're placing their self-esteem in our hands, and I think that should never be taken lightly.
Jane, in the last show, we talked about all the buzzwords that are out there, your competition. Everybody seems to have them. I talked about poly this and derma that, but now I'm hearing a whole new host of other terms. I'm hearing rooting and stranding, and decipher it for us. Tell me what it means.
I think they're very well thought out marketing terms. I think basically what they are names for attachments. Everyone has their name for their own attachment, and everyone wants to think it's very exclusive, but there's really only one thing to think about. How is it going to look? That's the most important part. Attachments, we have every attachment there is. We always have those that work. But what's most important? How am I going to look? You see, the only reason you're doing this is to look better, is to improve your appearance. The attachments are done underneath. What's the difference? What's most important is how it's going to look.
One of the things that I said in the open of the show is that I thought this show was better than the last. And one of the reasons I said that is this time we actually are going to have the opportunity to show your hair replacements side by side with another company's hair replacements. These are people who actually came to you as wearers from other companies.
Right.
And actually some of them were pretty satisfied with what they had.
At the time, they thought it was fine.
But the difference the improvement is amazing. So let's take a look at some of that.
This is Scott, and the first thing I'd like to say is this is not a JA Alternatives hair replacement, correct?
No, it is not.
Now, Scott came to us from another company wearing this product, and what I'd like to do is point out some of the things that I think can really be improved upon. Number one, the front hairline itself. Now, this is not a natural hairline. It's giving him a very hard effect. You can feel quite a ridge there, and it's really sitting up, so it's not that natural. Also, look at the color. The color really does not complement his skin tones. It's much too dark for his face, and that's also giving him a very hard look in the front. As you can see, Scott's own hair is naturally curly, and it has some nice natural red highlights to it. But the hair replacement is very straight, and you're getting a very obvious line of demarcation. It's too dark and it's too straight, and that follows through all the way around the back. Now I'd like to come back and show you what we've done for Scott. As you can see, this is one of those dramatic improvements. First of all, the color is more appropriate. We started with a lighter highlight color in the front, and we graduated into the back. We also body waved the hair replacement to match Scott's own curl pattern. We cut it and styled it completely differently. I think it's a much more becoming cut on him. It's much more stylish. All in all, I would say this is one of those night and day improvements. We're back again, and this is Len, and this is not JA Alternatives hair replacement, right?
Not at all.
No, this is the hair replacement from another company. What's the matter, Len? You don't like the way it looks?
It's amazing.
You walked
I'd
around
rather
like
be
this.
bald.
Yeah. Well, he did walk around like this.
I did.
Okay. The first thing that's really wrong with it is that it's really just too thick in the front. It has one of those unnatural hairlines again. I mean, you could really feel a ridge, but it's quite a big one there. It's like a ski lift. And it's just too thick. It's way too much hair for him. Also, as you can see, the balance is off. It's just way too top heavy. It doesn't graduate nicely into his own hair. And they tried to do a more modern cut on him. There's a little bit of highlighting through the front and a little bit of a body wave, but they really didn't go quite far enough. Now I'd like you to see what we've done for Len. And as you can see, we've highlighted the front quite a bit more. We receded a little bit, and we gave him an appropriate amount of hair. It's a cut of the 90s. That's really what it is. And he's able to do a wet look with it and not be fearful of showing anything because he has mousse in the hair and he has our scallop front. You know, Fred, in all defense of companies out there are some good hair replacements out there. But why just have an acceptable appearance when you can have an exceptional appearance? You know, I can't always make 100% improvement in every client who comes to us, but if I can even make a 25% improvement, I mean, if someone told you right now we could make a 25% improvement in the way you look,
I'd take it.
right? Who wouldn't want that?
I need
That's
35%,
a big improvement.
though.
Okay, for you it's 35.
Yeah, but this is not, we're not talking about a 25% improvement
No, in
here.
some
I mean,
people
I think
I
you're
know.
being a little modest.
It's night and day in a lot of cases, it is. And what's more important, it's night and day in the way it's handled at home. You see, no one ever stresses that. It's very important that it's easy to handle at home. Not every client's a hairdresser. Not everyone wants to be, or not everyone wants to spend a lot of time. So that's important also, that it's easy to handle.
One of the things that we talked about in the last show, or actually that you talked about, was you were talking to the people who were already hair wearers. And you had offered them a complimentary service.
Yes.
Did a lot of people take you up on it?
Yes, quite a few people took us up on that offer. And I thought it was a nice way to have them come in and see what our company is really all about. Rather than spending any money, come in and try our servicing. Take a look at our staff, interface with the staff, see the quality that we have there and the quality of our service. And then, of course, while you're there, take a look at our product. And a lot of people have taken us up on that offer. And I know they're very happy that they did. They immediately saw a difference.
Well, the question is, are you still willing to make the offer?
Absolutely, absolutely.
You're still willing to offer the free service?
I think it's wonderful. If you're a hair wearer out there and you're not completely happy with what you have, or you'd like to try another company just to see what we have to offer, come in for a complimentary service. We'd be delighted to do it for you.
Well, since I've got you in the offering mood, last time I had, I had to pull it out of you. We got the 30-day guarantee. Remember I said,
Sure.
if your work is so good, why don't you guarantee it? And you said, Fred, nobody offers a guarantee in hair replacement. And I said, you should. And you were pretty big about it. You offered the 30-day guarantee.
Yep.
Tell me about it. What happened?
First of all right, you were right. The response is
I'm sorry,
overwhelming.
what was that?
You were right.
It's so nice to hear a woman say that. It happens so rarely.
That's right.
I'm sorry, tell me about the guarantee.
You were right. The 30-day was terrific. It really did bring a lot of clients into the company. And I think the reason was that it was kind of like a company, backing its offer and backing its product.
The question is, are you still willing to offer the 30-day guarantee.
Absolutely. Yes, I think it was a great way for clients to come into the company. There's very little risk involved, and
Explain it, just so they understand.
All right.
Explain exactly what the guarantee
we
is.
have many programs. The 30-day is one of our programs. If a client wants a 30-day guarantee, they come in. All they have to do is ask our consultants for all the details. They will purchase the hair replacement. They get to wear our custom-designed product for 30 days.
Like the ones we see on
Absolutely.
the show.
If at the end of 30 days they're not completely happy, they will receive 100% of their money back.
They pay nothing.
They pay nothing. I have a complete faith in our product and our staff, and I believe if we can't make you happy, no one can.
Right. Jane, one of the things I'd like to do right now is I'm sure there's a lot of viewers that are watching who would want to call now. Can they call now?
Sure, I may even be answering the phone.
Okay, well then let's take a moment and run the numbers for them, and we'll be right back.
Hair loss. Now there's an alternative that's right for you. At JA Alternatives, we've taken the art of hair replacement and turned it into reality. Hair loss doesn't have to be a problem anymore. For a free brochure, call 1-800-992-HAIR. JA Alternatives, the fine art of hair replacement. Call for the location nearest you.
Let's talk about the women for a moment. In the last show, I was pretty surprised to hear that hair loss was as big a problem for women as it is for men. And from what I understand, you're one of the only companies that can really handle hair loss for women.
Well, first of all, that says a lot about the company because, you know, women's styles, haircuts, colors, they're much more intricate than a man's style. And that says that we have a higher level of expertise than most hair replacement companies. Also, for women, I think it's even more devastating to lose their hair than for a man to lose his hair. And it's also much less accepted for a woman to lose her hair. Now, if a man is bald and he walks down the street, you know, no one really is going to notice or say anything. Now, if a woman is bald and she walks down the street, that's totally unacceptable. You know, they're often asked, are you ill? Is something wrong? My God, what happened? You know, they're not able to bald gracefully. You know, who really wants to anyway, but, you know, they're certainly not able to.
Right. Is it basically the same process for women as it is for men?
Yes, there are similar procedures for men as there are for women. However, the styling and the coloring and the perming aspect is slightly different for women.
You know, something else that's pretty important, and I'm sure all the viewers out there think the same thing when they watch these shows, no one ever touches the hair. Now, I don't know about you, but I know myself, when I see somebody who's sitting there real stark and real straightforward, like they're afraid to move.
Like, doesn't this look perfectly natural? Yes, I can swim, I can surf, I can do everything.
Yeah, but
Can you move?
I think Dan said it best, and I want to play Dan right now.
Okay.
I started losing my hair when I was almost 21, and it's a traumatic thing because you really don't believe it's actually happening to you. So if you think it's a dream, you're going to wake up and you're going to have your hair back. And then you go through the denial of saying that, no, it's not me, I'm not losing my hair, it's just, I got to be an old man and lose my hair. And that's what everybody believes, that old people lose their hair, not young kids. So after a while of going down the drain and seeing that I looked in the mirror how thin it was and people bringing it to your attention saying, oh, you know, you're going bald, like you don't have mirrors in your house, I realized that it was true, that I was losing my hair. And that's when I decided I better start checking out my options because I wasn't going to be happy to be a bald young man. All the other hair places, they all have the commercials promoting their products, showing people up on a stage. You see a line of chairs with guys sitting in it showing before and after pictures. But nobody ever touches their hair. Nobody goes near their hair. The guys don't even move their heads. You'd swear that if they moved their head, the hair was going to even come off. You know, it's not believable. But I want all you guys out there to know that I was in the same spot you were, looking at the TV, saying the same thing. But you can, girls will not be able to tell the difference. They will be able to touch your hair, and they'll be able to run their hands through your hair, see your scalp. It's your hair. That's as close as you're going to get is to your scalp is this. That's what the difference is between JA and the other places that they show you when you touch your head, that it's going to be your own hair.
It's changed my life because I had to go to the beauty parlor every week before. And when I come home, my husband was never happy. And now I only go down to service maybe once every 5 or 6 weeks to get color, and I can manage it myself, and I'm not good with hair. And I can change it and play with it and do anything I want with it. So that's great. And in the long run, I've saved money. And I've been telling Jane, I watch other commercials, and they don't feature women. And I think we have just as much right to have our hair as the men. And Jane is a godsend to us women. And I thank her every day. Every time I comb my hair, I say, thank God there's Jane around. And I mean that. I'm not just saying that. That's truthful. because women were never out in the front about this. And most women hide it like I did. And now I don't have to. I can just, you know, be me and carefree about it. And that's the best part.
I was skeptical. Don't be skeptical. This is an unbelievable or amazing process. Astounding. I don't know what adjectives to use, really, to describe it. Just the other night, I saw a celebrity on TV, and you'd think with all the options that they have, and the fact that money's no object, that they can have the best, you know. But yet, you go, oh, look at that. I didn't really know that if you got when you got a hair replacement, that you could style it or brush it in different ways. I thought it was more a fixed look. And when Jane was first applying it, when she would style it in different ways, that was a revelation for me. I had no idea that that was even possible. It's just like having your own hair.
Well, Jane, I think that pretty much says it. You know, I've heard a lot of your people talk. I've heard the word miracle. They said, you know, they gave me back my hair. It's a miracle.
You know, remember this. I can't make a miracle, all right? And I tell people this in consultation. Can we do this? Can we? Look, it's not a miracle, but I can make it look like a miracle, and that's the difference.
Jane, we're just about out of time. It's been a lot of fun once again. And I got to tell you, I think you've taken another big step towards changing the way people think about hair replacements.
Thank you, Fred.
Anything you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
Yeah, if you're a man or a woman out there and you have hair loss, don't be afraid to try hair replacement. Don't be put off by the bad work that you've seen walking around out there. We see it too, and there is good work to be had. The good work you walk by every day, and you really don't know what anyone had done. And if you are a hair wearer and you're less than satisfied with the company that you're going to or less than satisfied with the product, give JA a try. It won't cost you anything. And remember, we're there for you.
And for those of you who are out there who have lost or are losing your hair and you want to do something about it, but you're still tolerating your hair loss, why on earth would you want to when there's something this natural available? Until next time, I wish you all the best.